So SportsIllustrated.com wrote an article and talked about the fact that Pro Football Focus thinks we should take a tight end in day 2 of the NFL draft. And ironically enough, it's actually a tight end I have talked about a lot when it comes to potentially us taking him. And that, of course, is Ja'Tavion Sanders. So first round here, got a couple options on the board. This time, Byron Murphy went right before our pick. So at this pick, Johnny Newton's on the board, J.C. Latham's on the board. This is, again, it's so funny to see my comic section, how split people are between these two guys. There's a lot of people who are saying, J.C. Latham, we have to take a right tackle, we have to take a right tackle in the future. Other people are saying, the Bengals suck at taking offensive tackle in the first round. You got to take a defensive tackle. I've seen people comment and say that the Bengals have never taken a successful defensive tackle in the first round, at least. So it's like, we're going back and forth, guys. I'm going Johnny Newton as a replacement for DJ Reader. I love J.C. Latham, but yeah. So Ja'Tavion Sanders is the guy that is available in the second round here. And I want to go ahead and address this real fast. Somebody commented down below and said that most NFL or most Bengals coverage shows talk about how we're going to take a wide receiver in the second round and we're not going to leave the second round without taking a wide receiver. It's very possible we do take a wide receiver in the second round, obviously over Ja'Tavion Sanders. And if anything, I would say it really depends on how the draft falls to us, because there is as much of a chance we're going to take a wide receiver as there is a defensive tackle, as there is an offensive tackle in the second round, or potentially a cornerback, right? So, for example, Ja'Tavion Sanders, really great option in the second round. I like him a lot. He's a very good vertical threat tight end. He gives you less of a blocker and more just of a wide receiver out there. But in the second round here, yes, you could go with someone like Roman Wilson here, who I really do like, and I think has a really high upside. Again, like I said, always an opportunity, always a possibility, but they're going to go best player available. And how this mock has fallen to us right now, in the second round right now at pick 49, you're probably only going to be taking anywhere from Roman Wilson down to Jalen McMillan here, right? You're probably not going to go with Quez Walker. We talked about him before. He's more of a project play, if anything. Don't really love him as much. Not as polished as a product. And again, you're not going down here. This is going to be where you're going to be talking now about like third round picks. So if you're going a wide receiver here, again, best play available, you're either going with Roman Wilson, you're going with Jermaine Burton, Keanu Coleman, Polk, and Jalen. And that's pretty much it. And what you have to understand is, for the Bengals, what are they going to look at? Best player available. Best player available in this draft right now is Zach Frazier from West Virginia. So, while yes, they could take a wide receiver in the second round, it's a good chance they might. If this guy's available and he's best player available and we need a center/guard, or we could even, get a new center, move Teddy K to left guard over Wilson and protect our offensive line, this guy is worthy of early day 2 pick. Who's the best player available? Roman Wilson or Zach Frazier? Or, again, Ja'Tavion Sanders? Comes down to what the Bengals think, but at the end of the day, we could take a wide receiver, but we do not reach for a pick. We do not pick a player based on positional, what we need position-wise. We pick them based on best player available. So, again, like I said, it's very possible. I know a lot of different Cincinnati Bengals YouTubers talk about how, we're going to take a wide receiver in the second round. I get that, and we might, but it depends on who's the best player available and what's best for us. We're not going to go based on what we need. For example, this is not a bad pick in my opinion. In the third round, going with someone like Javon Baker here. That's a good option. I would rather go with an offensive tackle personally, and I think that in this situation, I'm probably going with Blake Fisher. But again, it's not out of the realm of possibility that they go with a wide receiver at that pick, right? Eric All. See, at this pick here, probably going to find myself going with... Ooh. I'm going Cedric Van Pran. I'm going another offensive lineman here. Cade Stover. Love this pick in the 4th round. I think a really good high upside guy right there. But again, like I'm now in the 5th round, and yeah, no, I don't really see a receiver that I'm going to jump for. And again, I do not think Cincinnati is going to do that. Again, maybe I'm incorrect. Maybe all these other Cincinnati Bengals shows are more accurate than I am. But this is also what I heard last year when it came to the draft, was a lot of different Bengals shows said that we're definitely taking a tight end early. We're taking a tight end within the first 3 picks. Darnell Washington, one of these guys. And we didn't take a tight end at all. Just keep in mind, everyone's predicting, everyone thinks what, they should do. But the Bengals do the opposite of what a lot of people think that they should do. Like, we could sit here all day and say what the Bengals should do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And Duke Tobin and Katie Blackburn and Zach Taylor do the complete opposite. And we'll be sitting here like, wait, what? I thought, nah. They do what they do. And that's why they're so successful. And that's why, we create content about the Bengals and we're not, on the Bengals. We're not part of their coaching staff because, again, they know what they're doing. I think we all also know what we're doing, but you know what I'm saying. All right, so I'm going to go with back-to-back here. See, like this draft right here, I consider this draft more or less a bust. Because, again, I'd rather go with cornerback early, and I didn't go any cornerback in this draft, which I don't really love. But again, it's best player available, right? At the end of the day, you go best player available, and you kind of base it around that, and that's how the Bengals work. Because again, we went with 2 wide receivers in this draft. We went a cornerback late, which I'd rather go cornerback earlier. We went with a linebacker. We went defensive lineman, 2 centers, which again can move the guard, a tight end, a defensive lineman, and a tackle. Right. At the end of the day, I might go different if I redrafted this, but this is, again, based on best player available here of what we went with, and that's kind of what you have to do with the Bengals. Some teams will draft based on positional needs, and they're kind of draft based on what they, need to draft. We can only go with what the team we're looking at does, right? And at the end of the day, that's kind of where we're looking. So, again, like I said, looking at the first round here, now we have Johnny Newton available. We have Cooper DeJean. We have Byron Murphy. Most of the tackles are off the board. Marius Mims still available. And again, they could completely shock us here, right? And we could have Johnny Newton available. Byron Murphy the second available. And they could go with Marius Mims. And he might be high up on their draft board. I would love to be able to see what the draft board looks like for the Bengals. And I would love to get an insight what their draft board is. But sadly, we won't be able to. But for example, Ladd McConkey. Don't expect McConkey to be an jump ball receiver. But outside of that, it's hard to imagine him not succeeding in the NFL. His game is resemblance of Eddie Royale. Maybe not as fast with long speed, but he has a devastating quickness and is good in the return game and a strong blocker for his size, right? Are you going to take him with the second round? Potentially. Zach Frazier is the best player available. But, again, this is a very good wide receiver class. It is. And a lot of these guys you can take later and get really good options. That's why, again, like I said, I'm finding myself, going toward other players here. But, for example, Burton brings a fury approach to the position as long as his size doesn't cause him to be pushed around. He has elite quickness against the press and off coverage into the next level as a flanker or a slot. A slot receiver, again. And it's kind of funny. Some of these, he's a top-tier athlete at his position from an explosive standpoint. His burst, top speed, leading ability as a all-pro caliber. However, the lack of agility in his game limits his route tree. So, a lot of these receivers, even in the second round here, they don't have, the best take on them. He won't intimidate defenders on the line of scrimmage, but once he gets the ball, snap, he is a ready slot receiver, ready to go. Again, we don't really probably going to draft a slot receiver. We want an outside guy. Top tier athlete. So again, like I said, we're going to see what happens at the end of April, right? Tell me down below your thoughts, opinions. See you guys next one. Peace.